Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to another Sims 2 speed build. So today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a longer build. I think this is the longest Sims 2 build I've done in probably quite a while. My past couple of Sims 2 builds have all been fairly short, but this one is actually both a community lot and a residential lot. So this is something that's actually really cool about The Sims 2 is the fact that your Sims can really easily run home businesses. When you have the open for business pack, your Sims can really easily run businesses from their home lot. So this is technically a completely normal functional residential lot, but your Sims can then click on either the phone or the computer, and then if you go to the business category, your Sims can start a home business. And for your Sims' home businesses, they can usually just sell stuff. So you can have them selling, maybe stuff that they've made, like flower arrangements, or craftable stuff. I know Sims in The Sims 2 can make little robots and toys. And I believe they can also sell plants, actual regular build mode plants. If you put a bunch of them down, basically you have this tool and you can select what your Sims are going to sell. I don't really know if that works with clothing racks. So if you go shopping for clothing, if that works this way for a home business, but I know for basically everything else that you could think of, your Sims can run a home business. You can have them selling kitchen appliances and just have a bunch of refrigerators and have them set for sale, and then your Sims can sell them. Other Sims will show up, they'll buy items, and you can open and close your business. You can hire employees and everything like that. So that's something that's really cool about The Sims 2. So for this build, for my custom neighborhood, I decided that I wanted a bakery, but I didn't want to build just a bakery lot where your Sims would, just come to buy stuff, and then, maybe it wouldn't necessarily be the most usable lot, because whenever I play The Sims 2, I rarely go to bakery lots. I do visit, as other business lots, what that other Sims own and run. I visit other business lots, I visit other community lots, but bakeries I very rarely visit. So I know I wanted this one to be both a home business, or I wanted it to be a business that was owned by a couple of Sims, but I also wanted it to kind of be where they live. So for this build, we actually have the bakery at the front of the build, and then the back little part of the build and the second floor is actually kind of an apartment. So this lot is technically owned by two sisters. They're actually twins, Carla and Carly. I believe their surname is Nolan or something. So Carla and Carly Nolan own this lot, but Carla is actually the one that runs it, which is why it's called CARLA'S Bakery, and not Nolan Bakery or whatever. So yeah, it is actually owned by two twins, or by their family, I guess you could say, and the twins are actually the Sims that are going to be living in the apartment. So Carla, basically, she runs the bakery downstairs. She, does all of the baking, she does all of the selling, and, everything like that. She's basically the one that, basically runs the bakery. And then she lives in the apartment with her sister and their dog. They do actually have a dog. I don't include any dog items in the speed build. So I actually forgot to do that when I was doing the speed build and recording it. I forgot to add in a dog bowl and dog toy. I had no space for a dog bed, But I figured, you know, they would like really, really love their dog, especially Carly, who's the other sister that I'll talk about in just a second. But Carly like really, really loves their dog. Their dog's name is Cleo. She's actually a dog that I adopted through the game, through like gameplay. So she's a stray, or she was like a shelter dog, and they adopted her. Her name is Cleo. I don't really know what breed she is. She's a big dog, but I can't remember what breed she is. I think she's like a Labrador or something like that, like black lab mix, I think. I don't know, but anyway, she's a big dog, and there was no space like at all in the apartment for a dog bed. But I figured that, you know, they would be those kinds of people that would just let their dog sleep on their bed, like on their beds. Like they really don't mind if Cleo is like on the couch or on the bed or whatever. Like they really don't mind. So yeah, you won't see me adding like a dog bowl or a dog toy in the video, but I don't think it's in the uploaded version either, because I did the video and then like packaged the lot before I went in and took the screenshots and remembered that I wanted them to have a dog. So in the screenshots you will see where I put the little dog bowl and the dog toy. So if you do end up downloading this lot and you wanted to play with this family, and you know you wanted them to have a dog or a pet, then yeah, there is space to add stuff like that. And yeah, if you wanted them to have a cat, then good luck trying to figure out where to put a litter box. But yeah, so that's why they have a dog and not a cat. But yeah, so moving on back to this build, we are currently working on the downstairs bakery. And as you can see, you know, you have a bunch of display cases, you have a little register corner, and then just a bunch of open floor space, because I know in The Sims 2, the routing, they're not as smart as they are in The Sims 4. So you do kind of have to be a little bit more careful with where you place items. I've gotten pretty good at like guessing, like, you know, what will work and what won't. But because this is going to be like a community lot where there are going to be like quite a few Sims, I wanted to make sure that it was as like playable as possible. And also on that note, I did fully playtest this build. I actually moved, you know, after I had packaged the lot, I actually moved the twins in and with their dog and everything like that, and I played through quite a few days. On this particular lot, I play tested the actual like bakery itself. So I had Carla make a bunch of like baked goods, and you know, everything sold. She was able to, you know, people were able to get to everything, and like everything worked perfectly fine. You'll also notice once we start, you know, putting stuff in the display cases, I do leave a couple of empty spaces. I put in a bunch of like buy mode cakes, so like cakes, birthday cakes, wedding cakes, stuff like that that your Sims can buy, like in buy mode basically. And then I also put in a couple of like decorative cakes and stuff like that, like cookies and, you know, just decorative items that they can't like actually eat. But I did that just so that there would be like things in the display cases for the speed build and in the uploaded version. Obviously, if you wanted this to be, you know, just homemade stuff, so just stuff that your Sims make, then feel free to delete those and, you know, you'll be good to go. Or on the other hand, if you don't want to bother with having your Sims constantly having to bake stuff or like make stuff, then you can just put in a bunch more like buy mode cakes and they'll restock like really easily. So, you know, the buy mode ones, when a Sim buys them and your Sim has to restock the items, obviously, you know, they just buy a replacement. But with stuff like baked things that your Sims actually made, or, you know, with stuff like flowers that your Sims have crafted and, you know, stuff like that, anything that they actually physically have to make themselves, you can't just restock the item once it's being bought. You actually have to have more of that item in your Sims' inventory, because, you know, otherwise, how are you going to restock it? It's not something that you can just like buy out of the catalog, if that makes sense. So I did want to have just a couple of like regular catalog items in there as well, just to make it a little bit easier. And yeah, if you don't want to go through the hassle of like baking a ton of stuff, because I had to do that when I was actually playtesting this lot and, you know, setting up the family and everything like that for my neighborhood. So I did end up baking like a bunch of stuff, or like having Carla bake a bunch of stuff, and it took forever. And, you know, every time someone bought something, I had to bake some more stuff. And honestly, I don't really like playing with retail stores that much. I don't mind if it's something like really easy, like a furniture store or something, and it's really easy to like restock items. But overall, playing with retail stores is so time consuming, because your Sims need to be on this, like on the retail lot, almost 24/7, because it's so time consuming. Sims's needs go down so fast when they're like running a store and like selling items and everything like that. It's such a hassle usually. So having like a home business where they physically have their house on the same lot is such a like time saving thing, and it makes gameplay so much easier. So yeah, that's something that I just wanted to talk about. So you'll notice that we've kind of moved on to the like living area of the build, and downstairs you actually have a door that leads from the bakery into their like little apartment. It goes into a hallway that has, you know, the staircase in it, and a door to the outside to the little backyard. And it also has like a half bathroom, so just a toilet and a sink. And then downstairs we also have CARLA'S bedroom. So her bedroom is a little bit bigger than Carly's bedroom, but she has her bedroom downstairs. And then in the hallway you'll have noticed that I actually put down I put down a washer and a dryer from, I believe they're conversions from The Sims 3. And your Sims can actually interact with them, like they'll go to them and they'll like open the laundry, like the washing machine lid, and like do laundry and like dry laundry as well. It doesn't really serve a purpose. They don't need to do that because they don't generate dirty clothes, but they're actually like functional items. Like they don't serve a purpose, like I said, but your Sims can actually interact with them. And I don't know, I thought it added quite a nice little bit of realism to the house, or like to the build. And then in each of their bedrooms, you'll actually notice that they each have a little laundry basket or like laundry hamper in their bedrooms. Those are actually conversions from The Sims 4. So in this build, you'll notice me using a bunch of, you know, Sims 2 specific items, like custom content that I've had in my game for ages, you know, actual in-game items. And you'll also notice me using a bunch of conversions from both The Sims 3, I believe from like the Sims 3 packs, as well as a couple of like Sims 3 store items. You'll also notice me using a couple of converted Sims 4 items, which is so cool. I don't know, I love the way Sims 4 items look in The Sims 2. You know, obviously they actually look a little bit better, in my opinion. They do look a little bit better in like Sims 4 items look better in The Sims 2 than Sims 3 items do, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it, but it's probably something to do with the fact that The Sims 4 overall is a little bit closer to The Sims 2 in like graphics than The Sims 3 is, because obviously The Sims 3 is a lot more like realism, whereas The Sims 2 and 4 are definitely more like animated and cartoony styled. But yeah, especially the rugs, I'm so happy to have a lot of The Sims 4 rugs in this, like in The Sims 2 converted, because I don't know, that's something I always struggled with, was picking rugs for my builds, and then curtains as well. I also have a couple of The Sims 4 curtains that have been converted, which is so cool. I love that. But yeah, so I have a lot of like Sims 4 items. So if you're like a Sims 4 player and you recognize a lot of the items, that would be why. I love the way it looked. I love the way it turned out. This was actually the first time that I've done like a residential build with, you know, since I've downloaded all of these like converted items, and I love the way it's turned out so much. Like, I can't even explain it. Like, a lot of the clutter items as well that have been converted, like a lot of the plants and like hanging plants, and I don't know, I'm so happy with how this build turned out. So yeah, there's something else that I wanted to mention about this build, but honestly I cannot remember what it was. Oh yeah, basically, so going back to the twins. So obviously I mentioned that it's Carla and Carly, so they are twins. And in my head, their family have owned this bakery for ages. Maybe, you know, maybe their grandparents actually built, you know, this bakery, like built the bakery. Maybe they built the apartment as well, but it was always something that was kind of like rented out to, you know, other people and stuff like that. They never really lived here. Or maybe they did, and then when they started their family, they kind of like moved or whatever. And, you know, maybe the twins, their parents maybe actually didn't want to like run the bakery, and they didn't want to go into the family business. But the twins actually ended up taking it over. Their grandparents, maybe they left it to them. Maybe they left it to Carly. I'm thinking they left it to Carly. Or maybe they left it to both of the twins, and then Carly kind of just like bought out her sister's like share of the business, even though they do both still live here. In my head, Carla. Maybe Carla bought out Carly's share of the business, and Carly just doesn't have anything to do with the bakery at this point, like at all. Because Carly actually owns another like business. So next to this bakery, I'm actually going to go and build a like little flower shop, like nursery flower shop type thing. So that shop actually sells, you know, like regular catalog plants and stuff. But it's also going to sell a bunch of like flower arrangements that Carly makes. And then at the back of the flower shop, there's actually a little greenhouse that I ended up building. And there she has planted like a bunch of like actual usable crops. So maybe she does, grows all of that stuff there, and then she brings it over to their house. Maybe Carla uses some of the fruit and stuff in her baking or whatever. But yeah, so the twins basically each own a business, if that makes sense. They each own their own business, they run their own business, and they don't really like work in each other's like businesses at all. They're each like very separate things, and I love the way that turned out. I have actually already built the flower shop for Carly, but it's not in the neighborhood when I'm building this. But you might see it in the screenshots at the end. You might. I don't know if... No, actually, I don't think you will. I think you might be able to see like a little sliver of the like backyard like greenhouse in the thumbnail of this build. But I don't think you'll be able to see any of it in the screenshots at the end. But yeah, hopefully that build will be out maybe like next week or something. But yeah, I love the way that turned out. I intentionally made it match the bakery pretty well, especially on the outside. I ended up using the same bricks and, you know, the same windows and, you know, stuff like that. I wanted them to actually match so that it looks like, you know, they own both like businesses. They own both buildings. Maybe the like flower shop is a little bit newer. Maybe it's like been recently built, or maybe there used to be a different kind of business there, but you know, Carly somehow managed to like buy it, and maybe she renovated it a little bit, made it a little bit more her style, and you know, turned it into a flower shop or something. It's like a really small, like 1-story tiny little flower shop, but I love the way it turned out. And I love the fact that both of these Sims actually, like, they both own businesses. They don't have, like, traditional jobs. They're both, like, independent career businesswoman type stuff. So I love the way that turned out. But yeah, you'll notice that the majority of this build is very white, very pink, very pastel, like purples. There are a couple of darker colors, like this sofa from the paranormal stuff pack from The Sims 4, actually. I did include a couple of darker things, you know, like the sofa, and then, you know, Carly's bedroom, like I said, is the one at the top, and her bedroom is a little bit darker than her sister's. So she has a little bit more purple in her room as opposed to pink. Because, yeah, Carla is the one that's a little bit more into pink and brighter colors, whereas Carly is a little bit more into, you know, like grays, purple, a little bit more like, I guess, muted, if that makes sense. And you'll also see that in the flower shop once I show you guys that build, because, yeah, like I said, she probably, like, you know, renovated that and made it a little bit more her style. So yeah, you'll see that once we like do that speed build. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you about this build. I mean, it's 2 bedrooms, like I said. There's a half bathroom downstairs, and then upstairs there's a full bathroom. So they do have a full bathroom, but they also have a half bathroom downstairs for Carla when, you know, maybe she just needs to use the toilet or whatever. She doesn't have to go all the way upstairs to go to the bathroom. So that's really good for like gameplay as well. It's on a 20 by 20 lot, so it's on a fairly tiny lot, and it turned out to be just over 100,000 simoleons. So it is quite expensive, but keep in mind it's both a residential lot and a business, and I really kind of probably used quite a few expensive like items and stuff as well. I never really pay attention to how much stuff costs, so yeah, it is fairly expensive. But you'll also notice that at the front of the build, there is a little like almost patio type area in front of the little bakery. I do end up putting a couple of like outdoor dining chairs there, like patio type chairs, and there's like chairs and tables and stuff like that, just to make it look like maybe, you know, if you come here to like buy, you know, just, I don't know, what would you buy that you would eat at the bakery or like at the cafe or whatever. But anyway, in my head, they probably would sell maybe like coffee as well, not just baked stuff. So maybe you could come here, get a coffee, get a pastry, sit outside, you know, stuff like that. Even though that's not exactly how it works in The Sims 2, but you can pretend. And then on the side of that, there's actually like a parking lot. So there is one like carport at the front that actually you could go ahead and buy a car and put it there. I didn't, just because I didn't like the way it looked, but you can totally do that. And then at the back of that, I actually ended up putting just some like tarmac flooring and making it look like it's a parking lot that has like some graffiti on the floor and, you know, on the concrete and everything like that, which I don't know, I love the way that turned out. There's also like a big floor mural in front of the bakery as well, so like a very pretty, kind of more intentional floor mural, whereas the ones in the parking lot are definitely more like graffiti type stuff. And then I don't know if I did this on camera or off camera, but I also put a basketball hoop in the parking lot just to make it look like, you know, the basketball hoop is set up here, and, you know, whenever there aren't cars in the parking lot, you could use the space to play a game of basketball. So that was really, really fun to do. And oh yeah, something else really quickly that I wanted to mention is at the top of these stairs by the back door into the kitchen, like over the door, I ended up putting this awning that was from The Sims 4, but that awning actually makes the door unusable. So if you download this build, you'll just have to delete that metal like awning at the back, and then the back door for the like upstairs will be totally usable as well. That's just something that I needed to mention before I forgot. So yeah, that's basically everything about this build. If you guys want to download it, it is uploaded to Google Drive, and there is a link in the description if you want to download it. It has a bunch of custom content with it, but if you download it, you'll get the custom content as well. And something else I wanted to mention really quickly is I'm thinking about doing a Q&A, or like ask me anything, in my next Sims 4 video. So if you want to like ask me anything like personal, channel related, Sims related, anything like that, leave me questions on this video or in the community tab post that I'll link in the description and in the comments. You can leave your questions there as well, and I'll answer them in the next Sims 4 video. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. But I hope you guys are all having a great day and a great week. My week has started off really rough, but I hope you're all having a good one, and I'll talk to you in my very next video. Bye everyone.
I got you, you got me, we are two lucky. Emily, your name spells home since the day you were born. You have always known when I need you the most. Oh ho, oh ho. My best friend God sent my own good fortune. You know you are my double flame whisper, my soulmate sister. You know you are. I see you, you see me. Same mother, different eyes, but we're just as happy. Remember when you were 5, every day by my side. Oh ho, oh ho. My best friend God sent my own good fortune. You know you are my double flame whisper, my soulmate sister. You know you are. Oh, every time life gets rough, you know you are the one who picks me up, the one who fills my cup. You know you are.